Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. And today what we're taking a look at is my new Sigma 24-70mm f2.8 lens for the Sony A7S III. So today's video is just going to be an unboxing to take a look at what we get in the package. So initially opening it, you do get some warranty information. You might not be able to see that. This is pretty much going to be the normal kind of unboxing for Sigma. So you usually get this sort of presentation of pamphlets and leaflets on the top, and then just below that normally what you get is just a sort of folded card type holder for the actual lens itself. But with any of their art series, which this is a part of, which is signified by the A just there, they actually provide them in these sort of protective carrying cases, and you could probably see from the size of this box that this is a very big lens, so it's a little awkward getting it out of the box. So that's everything out of the box, so we'll just pop that to a side, and this is essentially what you're left with. So you do have some flaps either side for the carrying strap, and this looks like it's even bigger than the 24mm f1.4 that I've currently got on the camera. Very similar sort of presentation, so when you open it you do have some foam padding just there. There we go. And then you present it with the lens, and if we just pop that out for a second, it does come with a lens hood as well. Once again, at the bottom, you might not be able to see it because of the lighting. Let me just try and get that in frame. But there is some padding just at the bottom as well. So that's the actual case. We'll just move that to a side for a second. The lens hood on this, we'll just take this out. So this is one of the sort of more posh style, if you like, where you do have an actual button release. So rather than just clicking in, you also have a little button release. Looking at this, this is a 82mm thread. So obviously if you want to get any ND filters or any filters for this, you're going to need an 82mm filter. Right, so coming on to the lens itself, and first impressions is this is a very, very heavy lens. Even in comparison to the actual f1.4, this feels very, very heavy. But as with all of the Sigma lenses that I found recently, I absolutely love their build quality, and that's something that pretty much anybody who's held one of these Sigma lenses will probably agree, where they're, even though I've never experienced a G Master lens, most people would say that it's probably 90 to 95% of a G Master. The reason I went for this particular lens was this is a fixed aperture. So this is a 2.8 throughout the whole range. So it goes from, if we just look there, it goes from 24, there we go, 24 all the way up to a 70, and it's a fixed 2.8. So obviously that does make it more pricey, but having that fixed aperture means that whenever you're composing a shot, it's so much easier if you're not having to mess about with your brightness levels, your ISO, your shutter speed, all that kind of stuff to try and balance out the image. So yeah, you do have the option of locking it in, and let me just see if it allows you to only lock it at the start and end points. So yeah, at the moment it does look like it only allows the lock at the start point. So just there it will allow me to lock it. If I undo it and I even go out a tiny bit, it won't allow me to lock it in. I had hoped that maybe at every sort of small sort of incremental jump just on there, you might have been able to see and have it lock in, but it looks like it's only locking at the start point, and that's probably more to do with travel more than anything else. Now alongside that, you do have this autofocus button, and that obviously can, on the Sony cameras, you can reprogram that to whatever you want. So that's a good thing. And then you also have the switch for autofocus or manual focus if you did want to go that route as well. Taking a look at the top, okay, that's a very clear flat lens. So unlike the 1.4, which does have, basically you don't really have this top coating, the top covering, it seems very, very clear as well in comparison to all of the Sigma lenses that I've seen in the past. So this sort of reflection that you're seeing just now, that is incredibly clear. Most of the other ones have a sort of green tinge to them. So I'm hoping that does translate into some very, very good picture quality, which I've come to expect from Sigma anyway. Most of the Sigma lenses that I've tried, the 16, the 32 on the Micro Four Thirds side of things, the 24 on the A7S3, and hopefully this one as well, I've been massively impressed by all of them. So with regards to the lens hood, let's just take a look. So yeah, you can reverse mount the hood just to save space, and once again, as I mentioned at the start, in order to release it, rather than just twisting with more force, you just press the button and it releases nice and easy. So that's a really nice touch on that lens hood. And with it mounted the correct way around, you can once again see the size of this. If I just bring my iPhone into shot, you can see that this is pretty much well, it's just tiny bit bigger than the iPhone once it's actually mounted on. Well, once the hood's the right way around. So it is quite a big lens in terms of how much extra it adds to the size of the camera body itself. But in comparison to the current Sony one that I've got mounted on there, it's not massively bigger. What I will do is I'll insert some extra clips from my iPhone with them side by side, and I'll do a separate video just showing the actual quality, some sample shots, the various focal ranges and everything. So the main reason I actually purchased this one was for portraits. So obviously the 24mm f1.4 is basically like the perfect lens for me. I do still want to get the f1.2 35, I believe it is, but at £1,200 that's quite a big investment for a single focal lens. Whereas this, whilst it doesn't quite open up to the f1.4 level, at least having it as f2.8 throughout the zoom range does mean it gives me a lot more flexibility, and hopefully for photography, for portraits, that kind of thing, the 70 is more close to what your eye would naturally see, between say 50, I believe it's 55 to 70-ish, even up to an 85 would still be very, very good for portraits. Sigma do obviously do a 85mm f1.4 lens as well, and I did consider that, but I think the use cases for me wouldn't be that great. So for me personally, this actually made a lot more sense in terms of being able to get a much wider zoom range whilst giving me another option. The f2.8, as I say, is not ideal. I do love this sort of where I'm able to literally just blur everything but the subject out. It won't be quite so dramatic with the 2.8 aperture, but it should still give me a pretty decent blur, and I'm hoping that it'll still be quite a good addition to the setup for the A7S3. Anyway, so that's it for this video. Don't want to make it go on too long. What we'll do, as I say, I'll post a few more videos with some sample shots and comparisons between the f1.4 24 and this f2.8 24 to 70. I'll probably throw some comparisons between the iPhone as well, seeing as that has 3 focal ranges as well. Anyway, for those videos, obviously, if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel, and also hit that bell icon. That way you're notified whenever I do upload any new videos. Also, if you've enjoyed the video and have benefited from it, then I'd really appreciate if you give the video a thumbs up. And other than that, thanks very much for watching.